Good evening everyone, DRBMiller here. Thank you so much for joining my gaming industry news bulletin, as you did. I'm really truly excited to convey some really interesting news that would have come to my desk today. All three bits of news are related to our favourite games. First of all, to Mass Effect. I did mention a few bits about the rumours yesterday, but we have something a bit more concrete today. Then another is related to Final Fantasy, and the last bit to our favourite FPS, PUBG. So, let's have a look. What really has come to us today? First of all, Casey Hudson teased new Mass Effect by drinking a cup of coffee. What does N7 mean to you is the question that has been circulated through the social media today. We know what it means. Mass Effect, one of our favourite games of all times. Certainly one of mine. BioWare once again is talking about a new Mass Effect game. Well, to a degree. Speaking in a video for N7 Day, which is BioWare's annual celebration of all things Mass Effect, Series Overlord Casey Hudson mentioned about how N7 meant coming into the studio every day and dreaming about what the next Mass Effect game will be. Well, you know, Casey, you're not the only one. We are there with you as well. And it's not quite that massive to reveal. People perhaps hoping for at least so we know that the Mass Effect gears are still, turning at BioWare. Although it will probably be ages before we see anything on a new game. But never mind, Casey Hudson has been teasing the idea, and as it's been brought into the picture, we are very likely to hear some announcements, if not shortly, but certainly within the next couple of months. And also the other bit of news on Mass Effect, which is equally good for all of you Xbox One X owners, is that Andromeda is now enhanced for Xbox One X via a brand new update. Actually, who is playing Mass Effect still? I have quite a few friends out there, also people who are doing Twitch streams, and they're absolutely dedicated to the game. In fact, I will be streaming Mass Effect as well in the future, but as you know, presently we are focusing on our fantastic Destiny world, and we are exploring it really as much as we can. Carry on doing that for quite some time, and Destiny 1 we are doing quite well. We are coming to the top levels on all fronts really, and Destiny 2 we are digesting and progressing forward as well. Coming back to Mass Effect, the armor, Mass Effect armor, has been confirmed for another major BioWare project, and we know this one is called Anthem. Again, very, very hotly anticipated. We have seen some trailers and some gameplay during the E2018, and honestly, it just looked absolutely astonishing. Perhaps a bit more complicated Mass Effect in terms of what we will need to do, maybe a bit closer to Destiny in fact, but never mind, we are really very excited and we can't wait to see and hear a bit more. So BioWare announced as part of yesterday's N7 Day celebrations that Anthem will allow you to strap on armor inspired by Mass Effect. Your character will be able to deck themselves out in some fancy looking NS armor, and it looks pretty cool. So there is going to be a bit of wait until the next Mass Effect shows up, but we'll take what we can get. And we have quite a lot of news on the internet about this, so you can just double check my Twitter and you will get some bits coming from BioWare and other people related to this particular bit of news. And we are obviously getting the Xbox One support for Mass Effect Andromeda, and that is equally exciting. So we really will have it in beautiful 4K graphics with enhanced sound and picture, and I simply cannot wait to get my hands on that bit as well. Still a bit of time before I get another Mass Effect game, but never mind, we have the trilogy and we have Andromeda to enjoy. So a bit of news which was quite exciting was about Final Fantasy 15 and the other 14, which are said to be crossing over. One could say worlds collided. Final Fantasy 15 and Final Fantasy 14 A Realm Reborn are getting a special crossover event next month. Developer Square Enix has announced, and the collaboration will be available on December the 12th in the US and Europe, and will come as part of a new update. This new update will introduce a new quest known as Adventurer from Another World, which will see Fantasy 14, A Realm Reborn, Jihame rocking up in Fantasy 15. So you will need to polish off the main quest, beginning of the Ixatian's Blessings, and touch the first runestone to access the crossover event, which is located in the Dusty region. In addition, you'll also be able to square off against Garuda, and completing the quest will let you pause on the following items: Noctis, Glamour Prism, Mycoti, Ignis, Glamour Prism, Elzine, Gladiolus, Glamour Prism, Rogadine, and Prompto, Glamour Prism, Hayur. So that's equally exciting. We really look forward to that. Hopefully the update is going to be released very, very soon. But then we had some other basically telling us that Final Fantasy XV's Comrades multiplayer will also be getting a standalone release. And apparently there is a word about it being released next month. So Square Enix reveals that Final Fantasy XV's Comrades multiplayer will indeed be available as a standalone download on December the 12th for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Looks like it's going to be a joint release. Comrades was released as an expansion for the base version of Epic Road Trip JRPG, although this standalone edition does not require you to own Final Fantasy XV in order to play it. If it wasn't enough, Comrades standalone release will be complemented by a bunch of extra content, which will include 10 new bosses, costumes, and plenty of weapons. There's a catch to this, however. The original version of Comrades will not be playable once the standalone version is released, although those of you who have the original version can grab the standalone edition for free. Please note that the PC version of Final Fantasy XV will not be getting the standalone Comrades, as the expansion was included in this version of the game out of the box. And then we have some other news on Final Fantasy XV, perhaps not as exciting and pleasant. We've heard that Final Fantasy XV director left Square Enix, and 3 or 4 planned DLCs have been scrapped. So this was a bit of a shocker. Nobody expected it, and we talked quite a bit and heard a lot about those DLCs, but apparently Square Enix announced during a live stream overnight that Hajime Tabata, the director of Final Fantasy XV, has left the company to form his own studio. And as a result of his departure, 3 of the 4 planned expansions for Final Fantasy XV, episodes Noctis, Arania, and Lanafreya, have been cancelled. Episode Arendine is still in development, however it will launch in March 2019. Tabata-san had worked on a number of Final Fantasy titles in recent years, including Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy Type 0. He took over as director on Final Fantasy XV from Tetsuya Nomura back in 2013. As a result of the cancelled DLC, Final Fantasy XV Global Brand Director Akio Fuji said that resources can instead be pumped into the new AAA game that is currently in the works at Luminous Productions. As you know, Final Fantasy XV was released on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One in November of 2016, and it also arrived on PC earlier this year. So a few things to be excited about, and perhaps one less so appealing, but we are going to be looking forward to Final Fantasy altogether. We've heard some more things about Fallout 76. and the developer outlined post-launch changes. So we heard from Bethesda that a number of changes will follow Fallout 76 launch as a result of feedback collected from the recent beta. Chief among the biggest changes will be an increase in stash size, which will rise from a weight limit of 400 to an unspecified amount. In addition, various issues will be also ironed out, and 21:9 ultra-wide aspect ratio will be added into the mix as well. So Bethesda said, "We'd like to extend our sincerest thanks to everyone who played the Fallout 76 beta. The stories you've been sharing, the feedback you provided, and the issues you've made us aware of have been appreciated along this journey." The final round of the Fallout 76 beta is taking place today, as you all know, and also do check out my tweets. They have been indicating all the correct times. With the full game releasing on PlayStation 4, PC and Xbox One on November the 14th, which is next week. So can't wait for that. Obviously the most exciting date after that Red Dead release a couple of weeks ago. So the game marks the first online-only title in the franchise to date, with players exploring a sprawling post-apocalyptic wasteland some 25 years after the Earth was devastated by a massive nuclear war. They also said that Fallout 76 was not viewable on Switch. We heard today that Red Dead Online release date has been narrowed down. Red Dead Redemption 2's multiplayer companion Red Dead Online will launch later this month for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, Take-Two revealed during an investors call. The online mode will roll out in beta form as previously confirmed, although Take-Two didn't provide any further details in the call. Still, at least we have an idea of when we'll be able to saddle up for some multiplayer mayhem. Rockstar Games has said that Red Dead Online is an evolution of the original Red Dead, which to be fair was, we thought, very, very good. As you know, Red Dead Redemption 2 was released on October the 26th, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and has already shipped a staggering 17 million copies worldwide. They made $725 million during the first 3 days, just to put you into the picture. The game has been absolutely adored and admired by all the fans, and as you know, very many people are playing it on Twitch and streaming the game at the moment. So if you're interested, or if you want to find out what the gameplay is like, head to Twitch and access the channel that is basically drafting you the connections to all of those fantastic streamers doing Red Dead, and you will not be disappointed, I can assure you. Some channels are just absolutely gobsmacking. I've watched them and I had a lot of fun. There are many very humorous streamers, and there are people who are approaching it very seriously, diligently, and obviously with the intention to finish the game. So definitely head to Twitch and have a look. Today we are not going to have any special offers and bundles. We didn't have anything interesting coming to our desks today. So on this note, we shall wish you all a very good night, and also would like to invite you to my Destiny 1 stream, which is going to follow. As you know, currently we are playing Strikes, and we are joined by some of our community members. So if interested, definitely join us in about 10 minutes for several hours of massive strikes, loads of enemies being devastated, and lots of victories being acquired. I wish you all a very, very good evening.